Welcome to the Awakened Aphrodite podcast with me, your host, Pamela Horner, master hypnotherapist, master practitioner of neurolinguistic programming, mental and emotional release, and all things feminine dominance. Listening to this podcast means that you are ready for deep, passionate, soul connected, magic laced love and business. And you are ready to have them both and so much more all at the same time. If you are here, it's because you've done the work. You've shown up and now you're ready to cash it all in and finally receive everything you've ever dreamt of. Every time you listen to this podcast, you will open more up to love, abundance, turn on, and magic. And you'll feel absolutely compelled to say yes to everything that's meant for you and your highest alignment and good. If you are ready to work with me and dive deeper, please follow me on Instagram at The Awakened Aphrodite or go to theawakenedaphrodite.com to stay in the know of all of the palace happenings. Thank you so much for listening. Please like, comment, share, and give the show 5 stars. And I know that you will fall in love with today's episode. So, today, we are going to be talking about the most important things in manifesting. The most important thing. But really, it's two things. And you know how I roll. Sometimes I'll just add things in there. And my intention is to teach you two things. Who knows? Who knows? More things might come through in this. And you can manifest and create. When I say manifest, what I mean is intentionally create via your focus, via your determination, what it is that you desire. And by the way, when you decide to work with me, this is what we do. This is the reason why all of my clients get the most amazing results. This is the reason why I've worked with celebrity influencers and celebrity coaches in their own right, because of the fact that they know that working with me gets them the fastest results. And on that note, as much as I love magic and I practice magic, it is not just magic. I work with you, and everything that I do is deep rewiring hypnosis. So even just listening to this podcast is already starting to rewire you so that you can have all of your manifestations in the now, right here, right now. You get to have the love life, you get to have the wealth, you get to have the freedom and the health and everything that you desire. So I'm so grateful that you're here. Your mind is so grateful that you are here too. This is like a massage for your mind, and you're going to love today's episode. So let's talk about the most important things when creating the life that you desire, or manifesting is another way of saying this. The most important things, the most is your energy. And when I say your energy, I don't mean some intangible thing that you can't like feel or see. And it's like, is my energy on? Is my energy off? Well, your energy is quite literally how you feel. And this is scientifically backed. If you look at the study of mirror neurons, it is this idea, and not just an idea, this fact that how you feel is what determines how other people feel when they are connected to you. So if you are feeling anxious, you are creating that and it gets mirrored back to you. This is also, by the way, how magic works. in terms of casting spells, in terms of your intention, and in terms of your creation. So your energy and your thoughts are the most important things in manifesting. And I could take this probably 100 different ways. And so I want to stay laser focused. And I want to bring dominance into the picture here because that is, after all, what I teach. And accurate manifestation is dominance in action. And the reason why is because dominance is the energy of saying, this is what I get to have. This is what I have. And no matter what, this is what I'm creating in my world and in my life. No matter what, I know that I'm already in a loving relationship. No matter what, I already know that I'm super successful and wealthy. Nothing that is being presented in my 3D reality, and I use air quotes when I say reality because this is not reality. This is a portion of what's real. No matter what my 3D air quotes reality is showing me, I know who I am and what I get to have. That is dominance, right? And that is also how you manifest to a degree, in a way that is exponentially more effective than how the average person tries to manifest. And, getting into this energy is why people work with me. And getting into this energy is not something that just happens overnight. So be kind to yourself in the journey, in the process of this unfolding. You can always be better. You can always be more dominant. You can always be more focused, right? So you really want to sort of let that trying of it go and simply just make your practice coming back to this energy, coming back to this energy, coming back to this energy, called dominance, called focus, called you know who the fuck you are. You know what you have. And just because you're not seeing the thing in your 3D, it doesn't mean anything at all. In fact, in many cases, it's just a test. So, the most important thing in manifesting, in creating the life that you want, is choosing how you are going to feel and what you believe. So, these are the two most important things, right? I want to give you an example. Okay. I want to give you a really good example. So, I had this client once, this male client, who was kind of, creating these problems in his relationship over and over and over again. Now, it would also be true to say that his partner's energy had shifted and that he was picking up on that, and that he had every right to be freaking out, and that he had every right to be sort of, questioning, wondering, so on and so forth about the relationship. That would also be true. And so at that time, my work was in trying to get him to this place where he would choose the energy. And at this time, we had just started working together. All of these concepts were new to him, right, at the time. And, we later, he's now married and like is very happy, is like 10x his income. He's doing great. And at the time in this relationship, he really was just learning, right? He was learning these concepts. And so what happened was he did not choose his energy, right? He allowed how she was being to dictate how he felt, to dictate what he believed. And things started to seemingly start to get better, right? I started to teach him these things. even though it was a new concept, he was doing a really good job. And then this thing happened where they got into a fight, and he said something to her like, do you even want to be with me? Right? Like, do you even want to be with me? Like, something like this. Do you even want to get married? Like, do you even want to be with me? And she was like, you know what? I don't know anymore. Like, I will always remember this, right? Because I remember the message and being like, oh, fuck. And any other coach would have looked at that thing, right? Of her being like, "Wait, what do you mean she doesn't want to anymore?" Right? Like, what does that mean? Well, maybe you don't want to be with somebody who doesn't know if they want to be with you and all of these things. And again, that would be a relevant conversation. I am not saying that it isn't. The way that I see things and the way that I work in this is I was like, "Can I ask you something?" He's like, "Of course, ask." And I was like, "What made you say, do you even want to be with me anymore? Like, do you not want to be with me?" And he had all of these rational reasons. And all that I could think was, wow, you've created this. Right. And of course, I did not say it like that. Right. Of course, I did not communicate it like that. But all I could think was, wow, you've created this. You, meaning him, had this idea. Like, I didn't think this. They had things happening in their relationship, but never did I think, oh, she doesn't want to be with him. I was like, it's this thing, it's that thing, it's this other thing. He had this belief that she was going to leave him, that he was going to be left again. And so he had created that. And in that thought process of, do you even want to be with me? Was like the nail in the coffin, right? Because it's this exposure of what he's been thinking, how he's been doing the relationship this whole time. And if you don't fully understand what I'm saying, let me break it down. Nobody who doesn't think that, right? If you're confident in your relationship, you're never thinking, does this person even want to be with me, right? So myself, for example, I am not a perfect person. Trust me, I have my things that come up in relationships that I have to work through. And I never, ever, ever, ever wonder, does this person want to be with me? Like, are they not interested in me? That is just not a thing that I have. I know that anyone that I date deeply desires to be with me. I know that they want to be with me. I know that if the relationship doesn't work out, it's because of other things, right? Like, maybe we want different things. And so that is never a thing that's mirrored in my relationships. Never has my relationship ended because they're like, I don't know if I want you, right? It's never for that reason. It's always been for the reasons of, we want different things for our lives. But listen, how that is my belief system. That is my mindset. So, of course, that is what is mirrored back to me in my reality. Does that make sense? So, because he had this thing called, do you even want to be with me? Like, do you even want to get married, for example? This is the thing. And this is where, he had some fear around and so on and so forth. It was reflected back to him in this way. So this brings me back to my point, which is the most important thing in manifesting is your energy, your vibration. How do you feel? Because you can say that you believe that you are deeply loved, that you are taken care of, that you are supported, that you get to be in healthy, loving relationships, and that you have amazing friends and you have amazing support systems, and you're deeply wealthy and you're very successful, and so on and so forth. You've created the business and the life of your dreams. You can say that stuff all that you want. You can believe that stuff. And yet, if your vibration isn't matching that, if you're saying that and you're all curled up and, you feel crappy and you're like, I don't know. Well, obviously that isn't going to be as effective as having both your energy and your beliefs on board with one another and aligned. So, what do you do though if you can't seem to get your energy and your beliefs on board? I've been there. I've certainly been there where it just does not feel available to me, right? It doesn't feel available to say, whatever the thing is. So maybe for you, it's like it doesn't feel available to you to say something like you're married or you're, a multimillionaire, for example. Fine. The question there then is what does actually feel true? What is the next best thing that feels true? Maybe that you're in a really happy relationship where you've spoken about getting married. Maybe it's that you've just had your first $5,000 month, or that you're having consistent $5,000 months. Maybe it's that you're having consistent $20,000 months or $10,000 months or $50,000 months, right? What is that next step for you that feels available? And can you begin then to be in the creation of that via journaling, via embodiment, via self conversations? And lock that in as your next manifestation and be totally okay with being there. Okay, that is your work. And then again, coming back to the most important thing in manifesting and creating is how you feel and what you decide and choose to believe. Whenever you are believing a new thing, it is very common for it to feel a little bit wobbly, to kind of go back to the old beliefs. And this is exactly where the support piece comes in. So, the Queen's Coven Mistress Mind is completely sold out. We have the most amazing queens inside of the palace. I am considering opening another pod. And so if this is something, and maybe bringing in like two people, so if this is something that you're interested in, DM me immediately before I either change my mind or those two spots get sold out as well. This is for queenpreneurs wanting to double, triple, 10x their income, while also diving more deeply into their love life and creating that as well. It's all one on one work with me in a group setting. You also get 3 bonus one on one calls with me. And so it is an amazing opportunity. Or you can choose to take my final coaching spot, which is $50,000 per year. You will speak to me. This is for VIP coaching. We'll talk on an almost daily basis. It's like you have me in your back pocket. It's amazing, and there are payment plans available. So if you have more questions about that, send me a DM on Instagram at the Awakened Aphrodite saying, save my throne for either, just because I get so many DMs. So when you say save my throne, I know that it is a priority to reach back out to you. I'm sure you know with Instagram these days, there's just so many people that are like bots messaging and, just spam and all of these things. So you must say save my throne. Or you can, if you're on my mailing list, you can respond to any email that I send and just say save my throne. The best way to get in touch with me though is definitely Instagram. And finally, I have a program that I'm going to be releasing. It is a self paced program. It is going to be very affordable. So you will absolutely be able to get it. To be in the first in the know, get on my waiting list or my mailing list, linked below this video and or this audio if you're on iTunes. And I'm so excited to create something for you so that you can finally see what it's like to work with me. Because I know that if you're listening to this, you want to work with me, and maybe you're just not fully ready to invest right now. And so I want to create this so that you can get the information, so you can start to begin your transformation right here and right now. And just know that even just listening to the podcast is already deeply rewiring you for love and success. So, my loves, without further ado, thank you so much for watching, for listening. Please give this show a thumbs up. Please rate it 5 stars and follow me on Instagram at The Awakened Aphrodite. And I'm so excited to see you next week. And happy manifestations to each and every one of you. I love you.